What is up, guys? Welcome on back to TK's Garage. And as I posted in a video earlier, and we talked about this, I don't know, a few days ago, now it's breaking in the press everywhere. You know, I talked about Stellantis launching an emergency room. They're bringing back different products, doing different things, and cutting brands. We started talking about that, and I told you the brands that were going to get cut. And we have even a little bit more clarification, and it could even go deeper. As I spoke with some of my sources at the board, and it's funny, the French are pushing really hard from people at Peugeot to try to get another seat on the board, but they really don't have the position to get it, right? And I'm hearing some very interesting things. We're going to talk about all that and more right after this.
Perfect.
Man, I'm out in the M5 right now today, and we're out doing our Christmas shopping and trying to get some stuff done for people that I care about, because it is that time of year again. Lights are up, gifts are piling up, and if you're still hunting for that perfect last minute present, I've got you covered. This right here is the Ekster Card Holder Pro. Honestly, one of the cleanest wallets out there. It's made from 100% recycled aluminum, blocks RFID without bulking up your pocket or your bag. I actually grabbed this one as a Christmas gift from my baby girl. The color was classy, it's functional. She's been wanting something sleek like this, and she totally enjoys it. If you're traveling or visiting family this season, the travel vacuum pack kit is another solid pick. I've covered it here a few times, and it keeps everything organized and saves a ton of space in your luggage. And for my Android folks, the new Finder card is clutch. It's rechargeable and helps you track your wallet at any time. And they have all different kind of trackers, not just for Android, but iOS as well. Ekster's running their Christmas sale right now, up to 54% off. And if you use my code TK's Garage, you'll get an extra 10% off at checkout. Hit the link in the description or scan the QR code that's been on screen. And it's a perfect time, like I said, to grab a gift that actually gets used. And maybe one for yourself too. And as I've said in the past, guys, I don't promote anything. We don't sponsor anything on this channel unless I actually use it. And why this one is not the Card Holder Pro, it is the wallet. You can see how overpacked I have this thing, how durable this thing has been, and how great this thing has been to use. And even though I have it packed like that, it still works every single time. So welcome on back to TK's Garage, and major shout out to our sponsors over at Ekster for consistently, just my brand partners that would allow us to keep doing this. I don't know if you know this or not, but TK's Garage, in terms of monetization, we don't get that anymore. That's why we started pushing more content over to Auto Intel Daily. So if it wasn't for our sponsors, this channel would make zero. So our sponsors over at Ekster are absolutely awesome. We really appreciate them. And like I said, I only talk about stuff that I actually use. And I love these things. Anyways, so yeah, they dropped this article, right? So this article drops, and basically talking about everything that we talked about days ago, about what brands were going to get cut and all of that. So is this an I told you so video? I guess until they make it official and they shut DS down, Lancia, and what I mean by that is they're just going to shelve those. I've heard I had so many people hit me up from Germany talking about how there's no way they would get rid of Opel. There's no way they would sell it. Sure they would, because of how popular, if that's the case, in Germany it is. Yes, they would. They would 100% sell it because they can sell it for a premium to the Chinese. Just saying. And what I'm being told now is, and we've already seen this, Antonio Filosa has already kind of put together the platforms for Alpha and Maserati so they can kind of share stuff. And it would not surprise me in the least if we see those get put together, and let's say Maserati has, maybe a Ghibli successor and Alpha has a Giulia successor, but they're really basically the same car. It would be like a Chrysler 300 and a Dodge Charger, right? They're basically the same car, just one's got more luxury and the other one's maybe more sport focused. I think we're going to see that kind of stuff happening at Stellantis. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, General Motors has done this for years, guys. If you grew up like when I grew up, a Delta 88 from Oldsmobile was the same thing as a Pontiac Grand Prix, which was the same thing as a Buick LeSabre and a Buick Park Avenue. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, or the same thing as, what was the Chevy version of that? The Lumina or whatever. Like they were all, or the Monte Carlo, they were all the same car with the 3800 V6. They just put a different face, a different ass on it, maybe a little couple different things on the interior, but for the most part, it's set on the same platform. So I think we're going to see more of that coming out of the brands from Stellantis, which I find interesting because it's like the French are fighting a lot of shit when it comes to integrating stuff, especially the people at Peugeot. And it's so funny because, so full disclosure, so my sources come from both sides of the company, right? I have some very, very high up Italian sources, and I have some very high up French sources. And I just find it interesting, how they really don't like each other, but you're trying to run a company together and build, and have a successful business. I don't understand how this company became to be in the first place. If you already don't like each other, what are y'all doing, man? But getting into the video, so yeah, we know for sure at this point that the likelihood, let me put it like this, the likelihood that DS and Lancia get shelved are above 90%, meaning they just don't make them anymore. It doesn't mean that they're going to get rid of the brands. It's like Plymouth right now, right? FCA, aka Stellantis, still owns all the Plymouth stuff, okay? They're just not building it. They're not making any Plymouth cars yet. Those are going to be SRTs. That's what I tell you. But you can see the pretty M5 right there. Video on that coming soon. We have the giveaway for this because I don't know if you've seen the new M5. I posted it over on Instagram. And yes, already been ignorant, sideways, all kinds of stuff. And we have a brand deal going with BMW North America. So you'll see a lot of stuff with that. Doesn't mean I'm not doing my Dodge stuff. So don't get into my you're not doing that. I already ordered the orange Charger. I'm building the General Grant. It's coming. Just stay tuned. But anyways, so we know DS and Lancia are shutting down. And the interesting thing that I heard today, is they may consolidate brands. Now, you're probably going to wonder, does that mean Ram could go back to Dodge? It could, but I don't think so. And another interesting thing that was spoken about from board meetings was the possible shelving, not shutting it down, like not selling it, not giving it to BYD or Chery or one of these other Chinese companies, but shelving Chrysler for a couple of years, moving the minivan to Dodge, and basically just shutting down the Chrysler brand for now. It's not a permanent shutdown, but it's something that they're talking about so they can just mitigate and kind of streamline the company. That's what Filosa is trying to do now. He's like, we got too much fat. We need to trim it. We need to get on some damn Ozempic right now and get rid of all of this extra crap we need to, and they're not, this is the other thing, they're not focusing on profits. They're not worried about how much they're making off each vehicle. They're worried about cash flow. If you're an investor, you know exactly what I mean. When I'm looking at a company, I look at that company's cash flow, not how, yes, it's important if they beat expectations. Yes, profits are important. Amazon was not profitable for fucking ever. All right. They lost money all the time, man, for over 10 years. All right. Amazon sucked. They never made money, but their cash flow is great. It's why people bought in. And I like the direction that Filosa's taking this company. And now, don't get it twisted. We know, and I've seen, listen, I'm not shitting on you guys that are Europeans, man. I hear you. But I also need you to understand that all that, oh no, you know, Peugeot and Opel, you know, they make the money. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just stop it. All right. I invest in the company. I'm invested over 6 figures into Stellantis. Okay. So miss me with that shit. I look at the numbers. Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram as a whole makes more than all the rest of that shit. So you can miss me with all of the, oh, Opel and this and blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, please. And I'm not saying it disrespectfully, just know what you're talking about before you jump out the window, okay? Peugeot had like 5.2% or whatever it is of what the company made, all right? So all you French idiots that are, oh, Peugeot and blah, 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 miss me with that shit. Nobody bought that shit. Nobody cares about it outside of France. You're not really even selling that shit in other places in Europe. It ain't selling here. Miss me with that. Miss me with it. I don't want to hear it. So, DS, Lancia, Chrysler potentially shut down, like just shelved for now, and Opel being sold. That could drop 4 brands. That would leave us with 10. Okay, that's still a lot. That's still freaking insane, 10 brands. But it would, I think the sale of Opel would bring in a big infusion of cash. Yes, it does give the Chinese an entry into Europe and some of those places, but it doesn't bring them here. And I think it also helps the balance sheets for the company by doing that. But what do I know? I'm just an asshole in a living room drinking my 7 brew coffee with several bottles of alcohol over there ready for the weekend for the Ole Miss game. But giveaway video on that M5 is coming soon, so stay tuned for that. I'll probably drop that maybe later today. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.